churches, forts, plantations, museums, historic homes, and historic ships, fabulous restaurants, beautiful beaches, all these and much more come together to make Charleston, South Carolina, one of America's premier destinations. On today's episode of Lively Charleston, follow along as I share 5 things you may not know about our special city. But before I begin, be sure to subscribe to our channel and stay up to date on everything Charleston. First up is Charleston's Dock Street Theater. Dock Street Theater isn't like any other theater. It's the first theater built in America. People have been going to the theater for almost 300 years to watch performances of musicals, plays, and chamber music. Built in 1736, it opened with the performance of The Recruiting Officer, which was the first play in America. Flora, the first opera performance in America, also took place at the Dock Street Theater. The original Dock Street Theater was probably destroyed by the Great Fire of 1740, which destroyed many of the buildings in Charleston's French Quarter. In 1809, the Planters Hotel was built on this site, and in 1835, the wrought iron balcony and sandstone columns were added. A number of notable persons worked and patronized the Planters Hotel, including the noted 19th century actor Junius Brutus Booth, father of Edwin and John Wilkes Booth. Robert Smalls, an African-American Civil War hero who stole a steamboat in the harbor and sailed it out past the Confederate-held Fort Sumter and turned it over to the blockading Union fleet, actually served as a waiter in the hotel's dining room prior to the war. After the Civil War, the Planters Hotel was torn down due to it not being properly maintained. In 1937, after $350,000 in renovation cost, the new historic Dock Street Theater, now known as it is today, opened up once more and hasn't looked back. Number 2 on the list are the Ashley and Cooper Rivers. The 2 rivers which border Charleston's historic Central District are named after the same man, Anthony Ashley Cooper, formerly known as the first Earl of Shaftesbury. He's credited with picking Charleston's location, just west of where it's currently situated, and with establishing a progressive development plan for the town along with his assistant, John Locke. If you take a 5-minute stroll around Charleston, you'll do well if you can make it a few feet without spotting a decorative carving or sculpture of a sweet and tasty fruit. Next up on our list is the significance of the pineapple. To understand, we have to travel back to its origins. It's said that on his second voyage to the colonies, Christopher Columbus discovered the pineapple. He then returned to Europe with a sample of the fruit. Sweets were uncommon and a luxury few could afford. King Charles II posed for an official portrait with the pineapple, which was meant to display his wealth and prominence. Southern legend tells the tales of sea captains coming home from their voyages and establishing a pineapple at the gate of their home, which would signify to all neighbors that he had returned from sea and was welcoming guests into his home. Through the customs and legends above, the pineapple became a symbol of hospitality and friendship. On your next journey to Charleston, take a stroll down the historic streets and count how many pineapples you can find. The one thing you can count on when you're in Charleston is that you'll truly experience Southern hospitality at its best. Next up, golf, one of the greatest games ever played. While many know South Carolina is home to some of the best golf courses, many do not know that Charleston is home to the very first golf club in the country. In 1786, the South Carolina Golf Club was founded in Charleston, and thus American golf was born. The club, formed by a group of Scottish merchants, started shortly after the first golf clubs and balls arrived to the States. It is often said that the merchants played their first round of golf in Charleston at a public park known as Harleston Green. Announcements of the club were made in the North and South Carolina and Georgia Almanacs 1788, letting potential members know to meet at Harleston Green. While it didn't take off quite like it did in other countries at first, golf eventually became a sport loved by many. The South Carolina Golf Club evolved into what is now the Country Club of Charleston. The course has rich tournament history, including this year's U.S. Women's Open Tournament in May and June. Last but definitely not least, if you head to Joe Riley Stadium and catch a River Dogs game, you may see a very familiar face walking around. While he's not on the set of a new film, Bill Murray can be found all over Charleston. While deemed Director of Fun for the River Dogs, he is also part owner of the restaurants Harold's Cabin and Rutledge Cab Co. Murray has been known to pop up at engagement photo shoots and college parties around town. But let's not stop there. Charleston has another very well-known celebrity in town. You may know him as the lead singer of the famous band Hootie and the Blowfish, or just as successfully known individually as Darius Rucker. This American singer and songwriter can be spotted often around town and is known to randomly play secret shows at the Isle of Palms Windjammer. If you're ever in the area, pop in and grab a drink and some food, sit on the back deck and enjoy the oceanfront views. Who knows, you might get lucky and catch a free concert from the man himself. All right, y'all, hope you learned something new about the Holy City in this video. Please let us know in the comments if you have a fun fact about Charleston that you'd like to share. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more just like it, go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. But let's not stop there. Charleston has another I'm tripping over my words today.